Although there was an update to Fortnite that dropped yesterday, and there's a change.org petition with thousands of signatures on it asking Epic to start releasing patch notes again, but of course, since petitions don't ever do shit, we're stuck having to check the Trello board to see what actually got fixed, turning the concept of tracking development items from its end users on its head as to advertise changes for the game from the team, again in a big middle finger to its players. The most obvious change with the game, with the 11.11 patch, as if that's supposed to be good luck or something, is that the middle island has been reverted back to normal because it's not cool to dress up the weekend after Halloween, even if it lands on a Thursday like it did this year, so get out of your fucking costumes, you douche canoes. Since this is a game about building after all, grenades were nerfed in the form of a max stack size decrease from 10 to 6 because nobody likes explosive spam. In new Beepity Bops, you could search your locker by cosmetic name instead of remembering the rarity of the one that you want to wear and then doing a linear alphabetical order search, and the UI match summary screen, which you stare at in disbelief for a few seconds after getting wrecked by a sweaty, got a rework to show you all of the achievements and medals for that particular match, since we live in a society where everybody needs a trophy because self-esteem. Unfortunately, since this is 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards epic that we're talking about, the bandage bazooka is still disabled due to syncing issues, so for now you can't complete the heal teammates for 200 health points challenge with the bandage bazooka from this past week's The Lowdown mission. Also with challenge changes, the Dockyard Deal challenge, where you were required to deal any amount of damage to opponents by exploding gas pumps, proved to be too difficult for dumb shits that couldn't figure out that you can carry down bots over to one of these locations shown on screen here in order to use the mechanic that's mostly been forgotten about and as an addition to the game with Chapter 2. So it's been changed to just destroying 3 gas pumps in different matches. So again, head over to these spots to complete the easy mode version of the challenge, and sorry, there is no retroactive reward for doing the more difficult version. You're still going to need to overpay for the Merrymint pickaxe. The week 6 challenges are also now live with a mission called Hide and Seek. The tasks on the honeydew list, like a lazy husband, are landing at Frenzy Farm if you like locations with shitty loot dispersal, Slurpy Swamp if you feel like having max shields without relying on RNG for them, and Sweaty Sands if you're AFK in a northward bound bus. Harvesting 500 wood, 400 stone, and 300 metal, which you'll need to do in order to have some Beyonce-like upgrades for your weapons. 3 eliminations at Frenzy Farm or Sweaty Sand, so do this in conjunction with the other challenge. Searching 7 chests at Pleasant Park or Lazy Lake for either side of the giant annoying fuck-off body of water. Consuming 10 foraged items which can be found in Weeping Woods or Slurpy Swamp, with the polluted ones being somehow better because Epic is anti-environment. Dealing 100 damage to opponents with a pickaxe, so take advantage of people taking a shit after readying up. Hitting 5 consecutive weak points while harvesting those aforementioned mats. Hitting 10 headshots, which you should be aiming for anyways. Visiting 5 landmarks in a single match, of which there are a ton on this map shown on screen here, and I'm pretty sure that this map isn't even inclusive of all of them. And getting a kill in 5 different games, so basically 1 for Team Rumble. If you complete 8 of these challenges, you'll get this loading screen here, which is what happens if you keep eating those weird ass fucking glitch mushrooms. You'll have to try and hide like Anne Frank in spite of glowing. Anyways, there's an eye hidden away in the rafters, which is where you'd think would be the best place to hide, but it's found within the big barn in Frenzy Farms located on the map shown on screen here. Although upcoming week's challenges have not yet been revealed, we do have some new weapons that have been found in files. The first of which is a machine pistol in common, uncommon, and rare variants that has a model looking like a Tech 9. Considering that pistols are the new SMGs, this weapon might bridge the gap between the two and will probably be a staple of the upcoming meta whenever it drops. The second of which isn't necessarily a new item, but one that was in the first chapter with the scoped AR, but this time with an epic and legendary version that doesn't come with a thermal scope. Speaking of bringing back old shit and pretending it's new, the Modern Military Bundle was released at a quote discounted rate of $2,200 from $3,200, and Fortnite teased a new male version of the female Sergeant Green Clover skin that was available during St. Patty's Day, which is about 4 months away in March. There are references to Black Friday discounts, but if it's going to be the same discount as bringing back old shit and throwing it together in a bundle for the minimum effort for maximum profit that we come to expect from Epic, then no fucking thank you. Lastly, in Fortnite news is the banning and subsequent confirmation of the lifetime duration for Phase Jarvis, who was caught using an aimbot on his secondary account in both Playground and Solos matches. There has been a lot of discussion over the severity of the ban, but I believe that a lifetime ban from the game is appropriate here. There should be a zero tolerance policy in all games for this type of cheating. Installing external programs that exploit code in order to gain an in-game advantage should be an automatic permaban. It doesn't matter that this wasn't done during a competitive tournament, as some people have argued. It was still done in public matches against actual players, which definitely ruins the experience of playing the game for those said players. I've said in the past that players using aimbots and then recording perfectly reasonable reactions of other players on the receiving end of cheating being angry and upset about their usage isn't cool or trolling. It just means you're a fuck trumpet and an asshole all that you get pleasure in making other people's experiences miserable. Now, Jarvis didn't use aimbot for reactions from other players, but instead used it to create content for his YouTube channel to show off, I guess, how cool it is to use this. I'm not really quite sure what his intentions were, but even then, it's still unacceptable for giving off the impression that using an aimbot is interesting or even cool to signal boost it to his followers and others in the community as to increase in interest and influencing others to cheat in a manner that's not used for content creation, but instead to win games. It doesn't matter if he did not have malicious intentions here, his motive is irrelevant to his action that he took to install said hacks. If he was just doing it in Playground, the pseudo offline mode, then I wouldn't really have an issue with it. The problem was once he started using it in public matches. If you want to try out some exploit to see what it's like, never, ever, ever do it in a public forum where you could impact the experience of other users. Do it in a private match setting. Yeah, he's a young kid and made a mistake. However, there are consequences for your actions, and even though this person is an influencer for the Fortnite community, rules should apply evenly the same to everybody. He shouldn't get a pass just because he's got a platform to apologize on for doing it. There are certain lines that you can't cross, and cheating via installing external exploits is one of them. Now, I know that the popular argument is that other members of the Fortnite community have also cheated during tournament qualifiers and they weren't banned for life, which makes it seem like Jarvis got an over punishment. However, there are vast differences between what those players did, which was colluding with others to artificially inflate their stats, which I think should have gotten a harsher punishment, but it's still not the same thing as installing an aimbot. Boosting is bad. However, it's still playing within the confines of just the game itself, even if there are players that are colluding with one another. But cheating is far worse because now you're going outside the parameters of the game to add something to the game with an executable in order to gain an in-game advantage. To make a very relevant analogy here, it's the difference between stealing signs when you're actually watching them on second base and then relaying the message to the batter versus installing cameras that are pointing at home plate and systematically using said outside technology to gain an in-game advantage over the other team. What Jarvis has done is the latter, which is why it's a bigger deal, and the other players have done the former, which is still bad, but it's not nearly in the same ballpark of bad. There's an entire seedy economy based around selling cheats and ad revenue for footage of said cheats, and while boosting does affect the experience of other players in the game, it doesn't nearly have the same breadth and depth that cheating does with aimbots or other hacks like ESP. Anyways, what do you think about the grenade nerf, the potential upcoming new weapons, and the Phase Jarvis lifetime ban? Let me know in the comments down below. I've been TheSchwanz27, making like Tigger and bouncing. Until next time.